Alright, good morning, y'all. I just wanted to come to y'all real quick and just really talk about at least some of my favorite things from Raw, or some things that I just wanted to get on that I probably wasn't able to discuss last night, but felt like I wanted to take a quick opportunity to go into, and it's going to have to be really quick right now. But, of course, there are an awful lot of amazing things that happened. And again, this is just given the fact that I was side by side, having my attention divided between this and, of course, what turned out to be the finale, Game 5 of last night's NBA Finals matchup. And I gotta say, they did a great job of keeping my attention away from the game for a significant amount of time. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened in the game that I didn't even notice because of it. Seth, for one, was definitely huge. Of course, Drew McIntyre quitting up and out of nowhere, just no promo, just an entrance, and fuck y'all, I'm out. Like, damn, like, it's like that now, Drew? But it's gonna make it a lot more interesting, so that when the actual setup happens for him and CM Punk, it'll be good come SummerSlam, and that's actually the point that Punk is expected to be back. But of course, I've got Braun Breaker on the screen right now, and I want to talk about him specifically for the fact that I feel like going into the draft, there was going to be some significant expectation between him and Carmelo Hayes, which I feel like is still warranted, it's justified. I would anticipate at this point, however, that at least for right now, Braun Breaker might be in a bit more of a favorable situation than Carmelo. Just for the time being, at least. And it's just given the way that they're going about using him right now, especially on Monday Night Raw. I mean, I'm trying to remember the last time I saw a call-up that seemed as ready to put it down on this particular level as what Braun Breaker has in a long time. Interestingly enough, I got an old Finn Balor shirt on, and for me at that time, I was thinking that was going to be the one, especially because right off the rip, you know, he's in that match to determine the first ever Universal Champion with him and Seth Rollins. Unfortunately, he was injured, but, you know, it just is what it is. This situation obviously is different because, you know, Breaker just has all the tools, and if he didn't show it last night with that dead sprint spear on Ludwig Kaiser, man, I just don't know any other way to look at it, but look out for Braun Breaker, obviously, for one, and more than anything else, I had a discussion with my best friend Darren a lot later than I should have last night. We were fielding the Money in the Bank participants. This guy's got me feeling like I misspoke, but we're going to save that for another video. For now, we're just going to transition into easily the odds-on favorite to win Money in the Bank, and that's Jey Uso. Needless to say, main event Jey Uso has just been on fire for the last year or so. Probably a little bit longer than that, I'm not sure. It depends on who you want to ask. That said, I'm thinking about it because when we talked about this, we were trying to put together a field. We only talked about the Raw side. We didn't even get into SmackDown. And I almost don't even know if it's worth doing at this point because, I mean, I don't know who else you're going to have better to put it on and it actually be as meaningful. I don't know. It's just hard for me to imagine at this point you're going to get anything else. And I gotta say I look forward to this, but not so much just because of this uprising by Jey Uso. It's because it's only a matter of time before the Tribal Chief comes back. And should Jey Uso somehow be World Heavyweight Champion by the time that happens, boy, that's going to be interesting. And just for the fact that the storyline with the Bloodline has taken the course that it has, oh man. And that's not to say that I expect Roman on Raw, but I mean, you gotta figure that those paths are gonna end up crossing at some point. You just gotta figure that. But nonetheless, speaking of paths, don't be in the path of the fucking Wyatt 6, for God's sakes. Man, do not get in their path at all. For the love of God, don't be in their path. We saw just a sample of what that was like last night. What I find really, really wild about this, though, is the fact that they literally, for me, just putting it into actual words, it's like Trips actually pulled out all the stops and yet at the same time, he ain't really did shit yet with this. He really ain't did shit yet with this. So, as Darren and I were talking last night, I think it's very imperative to keep a realistic set of expectations for what's about to happen on this. Now, I wouldn't expect Uncle Howdy, much less any of the members of the Wyatt Six, to do anything involving Money in the Bank, first off. That's not what this is. This group is out specifically to make a point, and clearly they have designs on it not being pretty in the slightest. And to say that this is only the beginning, I mean, I'm not even sure if we've even scratched the surface with it. But at the same time, it's going to really depend on the direction that they go from here. I want to believe that with last night's Raw, this has nothing but potential to succeed. And given the way that last night's Raw was booked, it's easily, as far as I'm concerned, Triple H's best show under his regime, and it's not even close. And this easily, far and away, blows away anything under the Vince McMahon regime. And that's where I can't help but be excited about this right now. I hope I'm right about this, but at the same time, again, I think it's very, very important that we look at this as very cautiously and realistically as possible, because even with a group like this, with everything that happened, they're filling some awfully big shoes here. Let's remember that, okay? But this is a fantastic start, if nothing else. Y'all know what it is. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll be back later today. I'm telling you, this is only the beginning, y'all. And we might not even be able to call it that. I'm out.